First of all, God can't murder anyone. We have to understand that right from the beginning of this conversation. Genesis 2:17 says, "But from the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat from it, for in the day that you eat from it you shall surely die." God gave a command in Genesis to the people, to Adam and Eve, and told them that the day that they broke that command they would die. And therefore, as original sin teaches us, all humanity is deserving of death. God can't murder anyone now that humanity has fallen and has earned death. Uh, Romans 6 tells us that the wages of sin is death. God is the one who created everyone, and he couldn't possibly murder anyone at this point because all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. If God takes a life, it is his to take, which is why humans, on the other side of that, humans can't kill anybody without moral justification. Genesis 9:6 says, "Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made man." And to put this in from a more secular point of view, if you're not a Christian or a Jew, there is something intrinsically beautiful about human life, especially a human life well lived. Even down to an unborn baby, every human life bears something intrinsically beautiful. And as Christians, we know that it's the image of God. Whenever we watch a really compelling movie or play about a character, and we feel something about the essence of goodness that's in humanity, I believe what we're seeing is a glimpse of the image of God. And so the reason God said that we shall not kill people, the reason God said that we don't kill innocent people, is because everybody is made in the image of God. For in the image of God he made man. And even if you're an atheist and you just simply examine the world and you see people living out their lives, you can see a little bit of intrinsic beauty in every person, which is why on the opposite side of this, Genesis 9:6 says, "Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed." So we have a moral imperative to not kill people because of the intrinsic beauty in them that is actually the image of God. And we also have a moral imperative to put to death anyone who does do that, because anyone who would dare to take a life of an innocent person has taken a little bit of the intrinsic beauty out of this world. And they need to be removed so that they cannot do any more damage. Now, there's other ways that you can blaspheme or profane the image of God, homosexuality, transgenderism, things like that. And there's other things that are inherently damaging to the world in general by profaning the image of God. Even the person who commits suicide is hurting the world because their life that they had was intrinsically beauty. Intrinsically, it held some of the beauty of the image of God, and by committing suicide, someone would be removing beauty from this world. And so that's what the Bible teaches, and obviously that goes right into the question of abortion. The issue is not whether or not this baby is old enough to be conscious or anything like that. If that was the question, then you could kill people who had fallen asleep. The issue is not whether or not the baby is old enough to make moral decisions. You could kill a child under the age of 12, probably. So the issue is this a human life? And the answer is yes. And therefore, if you are a feeling person, you don't even have to be a Christian, you will recognize that there is intrinsic beauty in that human life, and no one should be able to take it before it's time unless they are morally justified.